Hey guys, welcome to another pickups video. We got some pretty awesome games to go through. A nice even number 20 today. Let's start off with an endless amount of Switch games as usual. First up, we got Proteus on the Nintendo Switch. This game is really awesome. It's a retro style first person shooter. The visual style is very unique. It uses low resolution textures and stuff like that to make the game look vintage, kind of like PS1 style graphics. When you play it, it's super fun, gory. It's like a boomer shooter, I guess, similar to Doom. You got a bunch of awesome weapons, plenty of gore, and some nice difficulty, made a little bit easier by endless lives and checkpoints spread out throughout the level, which makes things manageable. These guys are tough. Those are the Proteans, and yeah, just cool stuff. Cool game. Then we got Super Robot Wars X. I've become a Super Robot Wars fanatic with 30, Super Robot Wars 30, and then I went on to collect T and V as well. So just expanding my Super Robot Wars collection with this one. Turn-based strategy on a big grid battlefield with over-the-top attack animations and really fun stuff here. It's a compilation of Japanese franchises that involve mechs like Gundam and that sort of stuff. I really recommend that you guys check this game out if you're into strategy RPGs. It's yeah, it's really nice. Deadly Premonition Origins. So this is the port of the original Deadly Premonition, a cult classic. Tried checking it out briefly, and this game is so cheesy that it's good, I guess is the description that I would go with. It has a cult following, and it's not too mainstream. Originally on the Xbox, I believe, it launched and kind of went by unnoticed, but you got a big open world and you're trying to solve some mysteries, and there's like zombies, that kind of thing. Rough around the edges for sure, not like extremely optimized or anything, but that doesn't take away from the experience. I would say it's even part of the experience. So, because I have part one, your boy had to get the sequel. Here we go with Deadly Premonitions 2, A Blessing in Disguise. I haven't checked this one out yet, but it's more the same, I would assume, with kind of more of a cel-shaded art style. Sign Mora X, or is it
Seinen Mora X?
Not really sure. This is supposed to be a very difficult shooter, shoot 'em up, shmup, side-scrolling stuff, and I think like each kill extends your time limit, something like that. I don't know, but I got it as a deal out of my loyalty program for my local video game store, and I've heard shoot 'em up fans really like this game and they praise it. THQ Nordic as well, so I had to add it to the collection for free. Advance Wars 1 and 2, the reboot camp. You'll notice a little quirk about this particular copy of Advance Wars. It actually came factory sealed with 2 album arts, so the one underneath is not damaged. It's just that it looks like they shrink wrapped an extra, and you can actually see it here too. It's almost like they're trying to showcase what the inside looks like. I'm not really sure, but Yeah, just Advance Wars 1 and 2 wrapped up into a shiny new package. They did tweak the graphics a bit to make them more 3D models, I believe. So it's not using what is it, 32-bit pixel art anymore. But yeah, some childhood nostalgia here. I remember Advance Wars being one of my first titles on the Game Boy Advance, and it's some more turn-based strategy stuff here. If you like Fire Emblem, even Super Robot Wars, right? That they are very similar games, but this one can be pretty tough. Here it is. I think I'll keep it sealed for a bit, just in case it's worth $1 trillion. Because of that. It looks like poop, but I like it. What do we got here? Oh, Dokapon Kingdom Connect. So, what was once a very sought after and rare Wii title has now been ported over to the Switch, and I couldn't be any happier because I've been looking for the Wii version and I've never really stumbled upon it in the wild. But if I did, it was extremely expensive. So here we have it, to many a game collector's dismay, I would assume, is the Switch port. This game is like a Mario Party style game with some more RPG elements. So I'm actually excited to play this one with a group of friends and, get into some silly antics, make friends or frenemies. That should be really fun. Weird, like, kiddie aesthetic here, but I've actually heard good things about it, so looking forward to it. Of course, we have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the long-awaited Breath of the Wild sequel, which people have been gushing over ever since it was announced a couple years ago. And of course, it comes out and people complain that it's too similar to Breath of the Wild. I'm not even going to waste my time really talking about it. If you're a fan of Breath of the Wild, this is it plus more, right? With the very intricate building mechanics now that you can pretty much puzzle solve, and your imagination is your only limit. So it's cool that they have Hyrule, and then they have some Sky Islands and some other stuff that I don't want to spoil. I actually haven't beaten the first entry just yet. I'm working on the DLC, which is pretty hard. But now this gives me some more incentive to go back to the first entry and beat it so I could check what this one's all about. So yeah, gotta have it. It's been selling really well, like 10 million copies in 3 days. It's insane. Langrisser 1 and 2, published by Nice America. So, my brother has been recommending Langrisser 2 on the Sega Genesis for a long time. He says it's an awesome turn-based, grid-based strategy RPG as well, akin to Fire Emblem, Super Robot Wars, and Advance Wars, all these strategy games that we kind of touched on already. But he said that part 2 is amazing, and the music is sick, and just has made his top 5 turn-based, grid-based games of all time. And once I stumbled upon this in the wild, I was like, oh man, I gotta have it, because you could switch between the modern style graphics and the retro style aesthetics. But the only thing that I did not know, and this is a warning for anyone that wants to opt for this version instead of the original Langrisser 1 or 2, even if you switch to the retro aesthetic, it will retain the mobile game style character sprites on the battlefield, despite the battlefield being, retro style. So that's kind of a bummer, because you want to have those original aesthetics when you switch on over to that mode. But I guess they didn't carry it on over to the character sprites, and that's kind of weird. So it kind of clashes, right? The visual styles. But looking forward to trying this one out, at least part 2 at some point. I've heard really, really good things about it. This is the game that wanted to compete with the Fire Emblem franchise, actually, and didn't really get an audience up until now for more like obscure collectors or something. I might be wrong. It might be extremely popular at this point, but here it is. Part 1 and 2 all on one cartridge. Creature in the Well. Add this game to my list of digital games that I must have physically. Here it is. It has a pretty interesting visual art style. Kind of like the cover is pretty much what the game looks like. Top-down puzzle-solving action adventure game. Good stuff. Finally, the last Switch game. Code of Princess EX by Nicholas or Nicalis. Not sure how to pronounce that. But this is a port of a 3DS game of the same name with some, fine-tuning for the Nintendo Switch. And it's, I guess, similar to Guardian Heroes on the Sega Saturn. Kind of the same three-plane battlefield with some RPG elements. There's some grind, I heard, involved in this game, but all sorts of like playable characters, upwards of 50 I've heard, and a little bit more of an obscure title that I managed to scoop up online, and my copy did not come with the miniature 3-inch GameCube CD audio sampler, but I don't mind. It was factory sealed. It's just that I guess the first batch of prints came with the CD, but this one still has the manual and a reversible cover. So looking forward to trying this one out for sure. We got a lone PS5 game. It's one of the PS5's launch games, if I'm not mistaken. We got Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, the deluxe edition, which includes some digital goodies and stuff like that. I couldn't pass up on the price for which Walmart was selling this game. I've heard some good things about the game. Some people didn't really jive with it too much, but overall I've heard it looks great. It's a nice graphical showcase for the PS5, and yeah, I've been wanting to add it to my collection, so here it is. PS4 game, Celeste. I have this game digitally on my Switch, so again, something that I want the physical copy of, and here it is on the PS4. You don't normally stumble upon this game in the wild. It has a full color manual there, so that's always cool. With some stuff, right? What is it? 8-bit pixel looking, very precise platforming game that a lot of people just love. Right? There's a deep story within the simple yet complex gameplay here. And when I first tried it out on the Switch, I didn't really vibe with me that well. But I guess I got to give it another try, because people, for the most part, really, really give this game high praise. So I got to give it another shot on the Switch digitally. Unfortunately, this isn't sealed, but hey, again, physical media. There it is. Cool cover art, by the way. A limited run game. Last PS4 game, Infernax. This is another retro style looking game in terms of graphical style. The back actually looks very monochrome and just black, white, and some splashes of red, but I believe there's more colors than just that, and I'm not entirely sure what this game is about, but it's some action, and it was on my wish list for a long time, and then I stumbled upon it in the wild, sealed, and I snatched it up real quick. We got a lone PS1 game. Oh man, we have Metal Gear Solid VR missions. So, if I'm not mistaken, this game came out before Metal Gear Solid. Now, don't roast me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I was doing a bit of research before snapping this game up, and a lot of people were saying how they just played the crap out of this game before they dove into Metal Gear Solid. So, yeah, it looked super cool. We got Gray Fox on the cover. I think you have to unlock his missions, and there's only like 3 of them. But this should be a pretty fun game to stream. Actually, I want to do that. And it's just Metal Gear, but kind of like teaching you the ropes before the main game came out, and some stealth action stuff like that. It looks really cool. I've been looking for this one as well, and here it is. We got Nintendogs. Yeah, this game it's more of a meme for me. Yeah, I mean, it's published by Nintendo. I never wanted this game, and now it's here. Just, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, but published by Nintendo, and it kind of, it was a thing at one point. So I had to get the Lab and Friends version. There's some different versions out there. I'm not well versed on how many of them there are. And then the 3DS tried continuing the whole franchise and stuff, but come on, you can't pass up the look in those eyes. Come on. Another Nintendo DS game, we have StarFox Command. And this, to my knowledge, is not the StarFox 64 remake, which is actually on the 3DS, and I'm looking out for that one. This might be a completely new experience. I don't know. I just kind of saw StarFox, and I was like, gotta have it. And then there's one on 3DS, so my sights are set on that next one. But cool. Fox McCloud is a cool guy. Here he is on the DS. Some R-Wing action, I'm sure. And finally, let's move on to our GameCube games. First up, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, published by Sega. Man, have I been looking for this game for a long time. Gameplay is you're this guy, right? And you kind of just traverse through the levels, taking care of this giant egg that you kind of roll around, and it's a giant liability too. So that's the main objective, right? Kind of make it through the levels intact with your giant egg. We have it nice and complete. Looking good. I like the CD, the two-tone red and blue. That looks awesome. I'm looking forward to checking this one out and possibly streaming it as well. But yeah, this has been a GameCube game that's been on my list for a long time. And I'm getting to a nice spot with my GameCube collection that I'm only seeking like the heavy hitters. And I'm closing in on just being done collecting for the GameCube. So this was one of them, and you'll see another one coming up pretty soon. But let's build up the suspense just a little bit longer. Donkey Konga 2. Look at that monkey. Yeah, I have the DK Bongos and King of Swing, so now I'm on the lookout for part 1. And this game looks like dumb fun, right? You just plug in those silly bongos, and that's how you control Donkey Kong. This should be quite the Nintendo experience. So looking forward to trying it out pretty soon, actually. This time I really did save the best for last. This is my holy grail of gaming in its entirety, possibly. Oh man, we got Cubivore Survival of the Fittest, published by Atlas. It's one of those Atlas games, and man, is this game weird, but it's actually really cool. You're like a little cube animal, and you just go around eating and surviving food chain style stuff. Very, very bizarre dialogue and things happening in this game, but come on. It's Cubivore. This is, I think, the crown jewel. Check it out. It's actually in my GameCube currently. It's the crown jewel of my GameCube collection, and I finally have it. I'm super happy to have this one. But that does it for this very brief episode of Pickups. I really just wanted to put up a video to announce my acquisition of this gem, and you can definitely catch it on the streams at some point. Yeah, I went to the antique mall and got some of these Applause vintage Mario figures. They look just really neat. So here they are. There's a set of like 12. So I found a nice chunk of them here. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought of this episode. Some really awesome GameCube games, in my opinion. And always a ton of Nintendo Switch games, but that's how we do around these parts. I'm really looking forward to showcasing these games on streams and that sort of stuff. I appreciate the viewership, dudes. Let me know in the comments what was the most surprising pickup. Which one's your favorite? Do you have any of these? Which should I play next? Let me know. Okay, bye.